Which celebrities ruined their career in a split second, and how did they manage to do it? The guy behind the whole Kanye 2012 movement had a mental breakdown at the peak of its popularity. Really surprised no one's mentioned CeeLo Green. 1 minute. He's a beloved musician. The next. He tweets that it's not our pay if she's passed out. Dropped overnight. Done. Edit. Bro. I didn't think anyone would even see this. A few people have pointed out that I oversimplified a bit. U207012 gave a better explanation. I feel like you missed a key point. Drugs a woman, has sex with her while she's passed out, is convicted of the above, then tweets that the conviction was unfair because she was unconscious so it doesn't count. I'm going to go old school here and say Fatty Arbuckle. Though the fault largely lies with the media rather than his own doing. Arbuckle was one of the most popular and highest paid silent movie actors of the 1910s. But after he and some friends hosted a drinking party at a San Francisco hotel, a woman who attended fell ill and died a few days later. A friend claimed that Arbuckle had ARP'd her. Despite there being no evidence to support it, the media ran with the story. First claiming that the actor's size caused traumatic injuries to the young woman. Then saying he had violated her with a champagne bottle. Arbuckle was tried for RPA and manslaughter 3 times. The first 2 resulting in mistrials before he was finally acquitted in the 3rd. But the damage was done. His reputation was shattered. Not only was his career ruined, many of his older films were banned and or destroyed. It's a fascinating and sad story. Generally considered the first true Hollywood scandal. Aaron Hernandez. He was a tight end for the New England Patriots. In 2013 at the age of 23 he killed a man and is now serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Jerry Lee Lewis when he married his 13-year-old cousin. And went from being an international rock star to an outcast. However, he did revive his career when he went back to his country roots. When he married his 13-year-old cousin. Went back to his country roots. Bob Parsons. Founder of GoDaddy. He was rolling in the riches until his vacation video surfaced where he is seen standing next to an endangered elephant which he had shot and killed. The video then switches to a clip of about 30-40 African villagers pulling apart and eating said elephant raw. Now, it wouldn't have been so bad if the villagers hadn't all been wearing bright orange GoDaddy hats. Talk about a PR nightmare. The original video is still on YouTube somewhere. Edit. That time beloved Heisman winner NFL legend comedic actor O.J. Simpson committed that double homicide. Allegedly. And then, despite his complete innocence, wrote a book on how, if he had committed double homicide. Gary Glitter. For that split second click on the icon by the technician when the computer he sent in for repair opened up all his kiddie PRN. Years ago I worked with a guy who was friends with a guy who found that stuff on Gary's computer. The guy who found it was only late teens early 20s and had to receive counseling as a result of seeing those images. I don't want to know. But that must have been some very bad tea on there. Glenn Hoddle, ex-England football manager, killed his career by saying that disabled people are disabled because they were horrible people in a past life. Can confirm. I'm a horrible person in this life too. I'm going for a hat trick. Oscar Pistorius aka the Blade Runner. Shot and killed his girlfriend. Anthony Weiner. And what's even crazier is that he managed to do it more than once. Jared from Subway. Robin Thicke, while it started with grinding with Miley on the VMAs. His hand up the skirt of young woman while married to Paula Patton finished it. Blurred lines had set him up for it pretty well. The hand skirt thing was the straw that broke the camel's back. Pete Rose, caught betting on baseball while a player manager in the league including on his own team, was ruled ineligible for the Hall of Fame despite surefire Hall of Fame numbers. Has probably cost himself millions in potential earnings though he is now back as a Fox analyst 25 years later. Mel Gibson did a great job, but surprisingly he's putting it back together. He's putting it back together. Probably because he's legitimately talented. He's also been keeping a fairly low personal profile the last few years. Lindsay Lohan. When she thought I should try cocaine. Does anyone remember Zoe 101, Jamie Lynn Spears? Sometimes I Google her to see WTF is up. She's a county songwriter now and I think she's won some awards. Seems to have a pretty decent career. Edit. This is my highest ranked comment ever. And I have no idea why. Also fixed misspelling. Edit 2. Unfixed misspelling. Now I know why. Megan Fox made one offhand comment about how working for Michael Bay was like working for Hitler, and Steven Spielberg advised Michael Bay to cut her from the Transformers franchise because it offended him so much. Imus in the morning calling a female basketball team nappy-headed hose. I've heard it a bunch of times and every time I thought, well, that probably wasn't the best thing. Ray Rice, domestic violence video realizing. Charlie Sheen, winning. Michael Richards, Kramer, with cocaine and the word. Ashley Simpson's SNL fiasco. Getting caught lip syncing was bad enough. But the awkward shuffle afterwards really sealed her fate. Is Ryan Lochte here yet? The opposite answer of this is David Letterman. He cheated on his wife and announced it on his show. Mike Myers when Love Guru came out. I miss him. Gwyneth Paltrow plugged an expensive handbag on her website and pissed off soccer moms everywhere. Didn't she also try to eat for 3 days on what she thought was a super low amount of money and was caught the first or second day eating at a very expensive high-end restaurant? All I've heard about her from Reddit is she's always lead a very luxurious life and doesn't comprehend that others don't. Chris Benoit killed his family and committed suicide over a weekend, destroying his entire history in WWE wrestling. Would still like to know what happened those few hours. Cat Williams tried to fight a 12-year-old and got his ass beat. Jennifer Grey hit stardom in the mid-late 80s with Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Dirty Dancing. Then had plastic surgery that left her unrecognizable. And barely got any roles ever since. Nobody puts Baby in the corner. But a botched nose job will. The nose job was actually done well. Too well. She looks too generic now and can't get work. Nose job was not botched. She actually looked great and that was the problem. Her aquiline ducking hawk's beak of a nose was iconic. Without it, nobody recognized her. Her career quietly shat itself and died. Azealia Banks and her feud with Zayn. It scared off the little remaining fanbase she had after years of pointless Twitter drama. Now she live streams cooking recipes on Facebook. What a waste of talent. She tweeted herself out of a career. I hope she gets the help she clearly needs. Mark Salling made it through a sexual assault settlement. But kiddie PRN is a no-no. Scariest part is the demographic his show, Glee, aimed towards. Rob Lowe had a sex scandal after being filmed having sex with a 16-year-old girl at the Democratic National Convention in 1988. He spent the next few years in smaller roles rebuilding his career. And at his celebrity roast, he noted that not only was he better looking than everyone, but that he had been married to the same woman for more than 25 years and had been sober throughout. So I think he has managed to save himself from himself. Not really a single moment. More like the course of 2 movies. Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. Edit. Course. I see what you did there. Rolf Harris. Rolf Ducking Harris. You pain the Queen, you scumbag. Billy Bush was recently kicked off of NBC for being a part of the grab them by the PSSY interview, along with his own lewd behavior. Considering he was a D-list celebrity to begin with, I can't imagine how he'll resurrect or salvage his career. That is unless Trump makes him press secretary or something god-awful. Dr. Phil when he put Shelley Duvall on his show. Duck him. He doesn't deserve the title Dr. Small time celebrity here. But Jay Mariotti, sports commentator and writer, lost his job at ESPN, including a prominent role in the daily sports talk show Around the Horn, after he was charged with 7 misdemeanors in connection with a domestic disturbance claim against him. He served 3 years probation. He still blogs and has had a few projects pop up and fizzle away, but never returned to the prominence he had in the mid-2000s. Jeffrey Jones of Ferris Bueller and Beetlejuice fame. Pederasty. Edit. Cause I need to start checking my sources first. Ray Rice, in 2014, was arrested and charged with assault after a physical altercation at the Revel Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. TMZ posted a video of Rice dragging Palmer out of an elevator after apparently knocking her out. Got blacklisted from the league pretty much, and hasn't played it down since. Sucks. Because he is still a great running back and other people have done worse things and got a pass. Even in 2016 when he vowed to donate 100% of his salary to domestic violence charities if he was signed by a team. No one has touched him. Edit. Before I keep getting downvoted. The thread is about who and how they did it, not whether it was justified or not. So my answer is perfectly valid. You're probably getting downvoted because your response to a 200-pound guy punching a woman so hard she loses consciousness and then dragging her around is AWW sucks. I can't see him run around with a ball anymore. Christian Slater in the late 90s when he attacked his girlfriend and a cop while on drugs. He's starting to come back with the success of MR Robot and his guest appearances on Archer. Bill Cosby. His actions weren't in a matter of a split second, but once his past got out it sure did. Sinead O'Connor. For standing against child abuse and denouncing the church. Winona Ryder. Stole a bunch of stuff from the shops. Oops. I mean was researching a part. Recently back with hit Stranger Things, but damn. It's been a while. Anyone mention Joe Paterno? His career was over and he dies soon after, but what a horrible last memory to have about you. The Dixie Chicks when they said that Bush comment. They came back after that and won a bunch of Grammys. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Of course. But when you bash the president, and your core audience is of that president's political party, then you're probably going to have a bad time. Later on there will be a clickbait article, celebrities that ruined their career in a split second. I did not sleep with that woman. Bill Clinton. Heck. If instead he'd just stated yes. I screwed her. Look at what I'm married to. Do you blame me? Most of the guys in the country would have cheered him. The Duggar family. Definitely no coming back from that. Lance Armstrong. Paul Walker when he became a tree hugger. I'd say Tom Cruise after jumping on Oprah's couch and declaring his love for Katie Holmes. I know he is still making movies, but they are just franchise movies. Mission Impossible and Jack Reacher. It was really weird and I think it put off a lot of people. The whole Scientology thing doesn't help either. He hasn't made a memorable movie since. For me it was when he dumped Nicole so calculatingly. By law, in his state, if a marriage that is 10 years old, then when it is dissolved each partner is entitled to 50% of the other's earnings. He divorced her 9 years and 11 months into the marriage. Out of the blue. He had no idea. Many people say also the Scientology thing. I just can't get my head around the fact that my childhood heartthrob is a brainwashed cultist. I thought the Katie Holmes thing was funny. We all do silly things when we are in love. Just perhaps not so publicly. Billy Squier rolling around in a pink tank top in his music video. It's never the same after she shaved her head bald. Nice try. BuzzFeed. Janet Jackson's Super Bowl performance. She was one of the most popular singers in the world and has barely charted since. Couldn't be the fact that most of her music since then has been horrible? More a story about how a celebrity ruined themselves in my family's eyes. For the film Finding Neverland. About 30 seconds was filmed in our garden. Naturally it took several days. I was on a school trip at the time so missed the action. I was 10. It was also my birthday. My parents thought it would be nice if they could get Johnny Depp and Kate Winslet to sign my birthday card as they were basically living in a trailer in outside our neighbor's house. Johnny Depp was fantastic and even wrote me a little message which I have since treasured. Kate on the other hand refused to even sign the card or speak to my parents. It only takes 1 second to go from great actress to selfish bitch. Johnny Depp is the man though. I love the fact that he dresses up as Jack Sparrow and visits kids in hospitals. Ronda Rousey comes to mind. I mean her career is far from ruined. But that head kick shifted her down quite a few notches. David Cameron when he bet the British public wouldn't vote to do something silly like leave the European Union. Haven't heard from him since. John Wilkes Booth once you kill a president they just don't let you do plays anymore. How about Jennifer Grey? She was in some big movies from the 80s then got a nose job and no one recognized her and her career dried up. Winning a Ryder when she was caught shoplifting. Her career was already stalled. If anything that just put her back in the news. The true culprit was when Gwyneth Paltrow stole the script for Shakespeare in Love from her. Have you watched Stranger Things? Johnny Manziel. The guy just loved to party so much he couldn't make his career successful. Kelly after he ducked several children. Oh wait. Tiger Woods telling his wife about his girlfriends. Donald Trump when he made fun of that disabled reporter. Oh wait. Donald Trump when he said he could just grab women by the PSSY without repercussion. Oh wait. The dude who got Adele guy disappeared after it got out that he smoked pot. My mom had a newspaper cutout that said dude, you're getting arrested. On our fridge for years. Hillary Clinton losing to Donald Trump for the presidency. Katherine Heigl couldn't stop herself from being a bitch and now does kitty litter commercials. She's a talented actress but good lord that woman cannot help but shooting herself in the foot. Or biting the hand that feeds for that matter. I saw an article not too long ago where she opened up about her career woes. As soon as it started looking like she was understanding the error of her ways and was putting them in a different perspective. She starts going on about how she got so depressed she went to therapy. But only for a couple of times because she didn't want people to think she was one of those crazy people who need it. Oh honey. Iggy Azalea. David Icke when he proclaimed he was the son of God. The world was potentially going to end but him wearing a turquoise tracksuit would prevent it and that the royals are pedophile vampire lizard rapists. It was pretty spectacular to be fair. Especially since it was all handled by the late Terry Wogan. Well. Some of it was. Who handled it like the champ he was. Brendan Fraser. When he went to the barber. Winning a Ryder caught shoplifting. Shame because she's a great actress. I don't care for Stranger Things but I'm glad she's back. Jim Carrey when he came out as an anti-vaxxer and for the dumbest reasons possible. He also emotionally abused his girlfriend who later committed suicide. Mark Salling after he was charged with receiving and possessing child pornography. O.J. Simpson. Murder. Richie Valens. Coin flip. Billy Squier with his music video Rock Me Tonight. Previously he had this image of a cool rock and roll legend. In Rock Me Tonight he dances around in this pink tank top and slim pants. And gave off more of an aura of a pretty boy which was very much not his aesthetic. A mix of homophobia and just a general disconnect with his whole image made almost his whole fan base turn on a dime. He did several interviews later on talking about what it was like for him before and after and it's pretty interesting. Kanye West seems to do it every 6 months or so. And in different variations. George Bush doesn't care about black people. Yo hang on Taylor. I'ma let you finish. Kanye West. Take you. Kim Kardashian as my lawfully wedded wife. This shitty get me tight every time I perform this methodica. Asterisk. But he keeps coming back. If he manages to do it every 6 months, he isn't ruining his career. Meg Ryan. She was America's sweetheart after dethroning Julia Roberts. I remember how dads liked her and how moms felt safe taking their teenage daughters with them to watch her movies. Then Proof of Life happened. Mel Gibson in One Drunken Rank. Edit. Drunk drank rank rant. It. No one understands the meaning of split second. Brian Williams. He was there. David Hasselhoff. Not that he had one to speak of at the time. But sometimes when you're that drunk you just gotta go to bed. Leave the hamburger on the floor. Go to bed. I don't think his career was hurt very much by that. Heck, it probably helped. Mel Gibson. Drunken rant about the Jews after being pulled over. Natalia kills for being a CNT on TV. Ja Rule mentioned Eminem's Haley in a song and Eminem pretty much ended his career. Eminem killed his entire record label. Uniton. I was going to say Miley Cyrus. But she didn't ruin her career. She just made millions of her Hannah Montana fans cry. In all honesty, it probably saved her career. Lots of child stars struggle to transition into adult stars, and her shenanigans did a pretty good job of keeping her in the public eye and announcing to the world that she's all grown up. John Galliano when he said some anti-Semitic shit. Michael Vick. He may not have destroyed his career, but he destroyed any goodwill he had at the time. Bo Derek. Her movie 10 was a hit and made her an international Hollywood superstar overnight. But she allowed her husband to manage her career, who put her in lousy movies that were nothing but excuses for her nude scenes. Her career took a nosedive. The movie Bolero finished it off for good. She still did some acting work, but not as an international superstar in movies anymore. Steve Harvey by announcing the wrong name at Miss Universe. I don't think it ruined his career. It just brought him some publicity. To some people it make him look a bit dumber than usual. Anyone who cared could find a lot of other things in his history that possibly should have ruined his career more. Yet somehow he's still pretty popular. Ken Bone. Should not have used his personal Reddit account to do an AMA. Kristen Stewart when she cheated on her vampire boyfriend with a married director. I think it ruined both their careers and his marriage and her relationship. Before, she was an A-list actress. Now not so much. Edit. Don't get me wrong. I like her and like some of her movies I have seen. Zombieland was fun, for example. What I really found short-sighted of her was that she had said in an interview that she wanted life to duck her over, like she had the perfect life and everything had always been easy. Then came the shitstorm in a classic be careful what you wish for manner. But you're all right. She is still doing good movies, and maybe now most people are over this and her career will pick up again. At the very least it brought her a few painful years in the critical spotlight. Can you actually say that? So tired and so German. Edit 2. Sorry. Sleep deprived mom and it was the middle of the night. I meant Adventureland, of course. Zombieland was awesome and of course she's not in it. Chris Brown after assaulting Rihanna. Didn't ruin his career. He's still making bank and charting afterwards. People shitty on him for it all the time. But it hasn't stopped the money. Brown received 6 nominations at the 2011 BET Awards and ultimately won 5 awards, including Best Male R&B Artist, Viewer's Choice Award, the Fandemonium Award, Best Collaboration and Video of the Year for Look at Me Now. 56. He also won 3 awards at the 2011 BET Hip Hop Awards, including the People's Champ Award, Reese's Perfect Combo Award and Best Hip Hop Video for Look at Me Now. 57. At the 2011 Soul Train Music Awards. F.A.M.E. Won Album of the Year. 58. The album has also earned Brown 3 Grammy Award nominations at the 54th Grammy Awards for Best R&B Album, as well as Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song for Look at Me Now. 59. On the 12th of February, 2012, Brown won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Album. Doesn't look like a very dead career to me. I can't believe that Ducking Jerk still has millions of people fans. Think about it. There are millions of people that like a person who physically assaulted another. I'm actually shaking my head RN. Milli Vanilli. Turns out they wasn't singing any of the songs. I mean at all. They was miming and got caught out performing live. You sound like Ali G. I kinda hope Jennifer Lawrence's career would nosedive after she was a massive bitch to that French foreign press person trying to read a question in English to her off his phone. But alas. Michael Hutchence of INXS. He wanted an oxygen-deprived orgasm more than he wanted to bring back his music career. Edit. I know he committed suicide.